Hello and welcome to the MCQ lecture series. In today's class, we are going to look at some of the important multiple choice questions with respect to Indian financial system, which is the economics general paper for SYBA. So let's get started. The first question is, the Committee of Creditors is given under section dash of the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016. Where do you find the mention of Committee of Creditors or COC in the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016, whether it is section 7, whether it is section 14, section 21 or section 28. Very difficult sort of a question, but let us look at it. The Committee of Creditors is given under section 21 of the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, and therefore option C, 21, is the correct answer to this question. I hope this is clear. Let us now move to the next one. Very important questions. In the corporate insolvency resolution process, CIRP, that is corporate insolvency resolution process, the role to approve or disapprove the resolution is given to dash. Who is assigned the role of approval or disapproval of the process or resolution, to be very precise, of the corporate insolvency resolution process? Whether it is A, adjudicating authority, whether it is B, committee of creditors, C, insolvency professionals, or D, all of the above. So here the sole authority to approve and disapprove the resolution of corporate insolvency resolution process is given to committee of creditors or COC, and therefore option B, committee of creditors, is the correct answer. Very important question, please pay attention. Let us now move to the next one. The minimum vote required to approve a resolution plan in a committee of creditors meeting is dash percent. What percent of minimum vote is required to approve a resolution plan in a committee of creditors meeting? Whether it is A, 50% of vote is minimum that is required, whether it is B, 75% vote is the minimum vote required to approve a resolution plan, whether it is C, 95 or D, 100. So here the minimum vote required to approve a resolution plan in committee of creditors meeting is nothing but option B, 75%. So the committee of creditors, out of them 75% should vote in favor of approving a resolution plan, and then only it will be approved. So very important question. Let us now move to the next one. Dash are allowed to take part in the meeting of committee of creditors. There's someone who is allowed to take part in the meeting of committee of creditors, but they do not have voting rights. Who's such entity who does not have voting rights in the committee of creditors meeting, but they are allowed to attend or take part in the meeting of committee of creditors? Whether it is A, minor creditors, B, operational creditors, C, adjudicating creditors, or D, none of the above. So here again a very difficult sort of a question, but very important. The people who are, or the group who is not allowed to vote but is allowed to take part in the meeting of committee of creditors is nothing but operational creditors, and therefore option B, operational creditors, is the correct answer to this question. I hope this is clear. Let us now move to the next one. The next is, dash is appointed by adjudicating authority. Who is appointed by adjudicating authority? Whether it is A, interim insolvency professionals, whether it is B, insolvency professionals, whether it is C, members of the committee, or D, none of the above. Again a difficult sort of a question. Dash is appointed by adjudicating authority. It is the interim insolvency professionals who are appointed by the adjudicating authority, and therefore option A is the correct answer to this question. I hope that is clear. Let us now move to the next one, which is very important. Insolvency professionals are appointed by dash by a majority of 75% in their first meeting. Insolvency professionals are appointed by dash by a majority of 75% in their first meeting itself. So whether it is A, adjudicating authority, whether it is B, appointed by committee of creditors, whether it is C, appointed by the Prime Minister or the Finance Minister, here the insolvency professionals are appointed by the committee of creditors by a majority of 75% in their first meeting. So therefore option B, committee of creditors, is the correct answer to this question. Mind you, appointment of interim insolvency professionals is done by adjudicating authority, and the appointment of insolvency professionals is done by the committee of creditors. This is the major difference between the two, so please pay attention to certain words. Okay, let us now move to the next question. Which of the following denotes the achievements of Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016? The achievements, let us look at the options. First is ease of doing business. Second is increases confidence of creditors. C is strong institutional framework in India. And these all of the above. Which of the following denotes the achievements? All of these points in some sense or the other denotes the achievements of Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016, and therefore option D, all of the above, is correct. That means it increases the confidence of creditor, or it has done that, strong institutional framework, and also it helps in ease of doing business, and therefore option D, all of the above, is the correct answer. Let us now move to the last question in this segment, and also the last question associated with Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016. The question is, which of the following denotes the achievements of IBC? A repetitive sort of a question. The underlying options are obviously going to be different. Let us look at it. First is reduction in non-performing assets of banks. That means the loans or banks or financial institution. That means the loans which were given to people and they did not return back the interest or principal amount, and as a result of that, these loans turned into a non-performing asset, and therefore after the implementation of IBC, this problem of non-performing asset has reduced substantially. So reduction in non-performing assets. B is professionalization of the process of resolution. Now you at least have a proper channel through which you can go for resolution mechanism. So that is a sort of professionalization of the process of resolution. The third is no political or government interference. Now to what extent is really difficult to tell, but in some sense or the other, there is reduction in interference by both politicians as well as the government per se. And last is all of the above. That means reduction in non-performing assets, no interference by political parties and leaders and government, and also professionalism in the process of resolution. So here the achievements are denoted by all of these three things, and therefore option D, all of the above, is the correct answer. Now in these two questions, that is question number 7 and 8, we have seen in all 6 important achievements of the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016. They are: A, improves ease of doing business, increases the confidence of creditors, it is a very strong institutional framework, reduction in non-performing assets, professionalization of the process of resolution, and no political or government interference in the process of resolution. So these were some of the important questions associated with Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. In the next lecture, I'll cover up the last 2 remaining topics, and then we'll wind up for this semester. So please stay tuned for more. Thank you.